Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, the audience has got its blood up, and there is an appetite panel to get through a few more questions than we got through in part one. So I'm going to ask all panel members to be crisp and to the point in their responses from here on in. And if they're not, I am instructed by the audience, which is my command, to shut you up, so be warned. Right, we're going to kick off, if we may, with just picking up again on a question that was raised earlier by Josie. Josie, do you want to repeat it?
How are we going to ensure that we attract people into these low-paid jobs? It's all right upping skills, but it's still good if they're still being paid low wages. So I'd like to know how they're going to do it.
So we have an ageing population panel, which we know. We need more carers. At the moment, we don't pay carers terribly well. We therefore, not surprisingly, have difficulty in attracting carers. How are we going to resolve this problem? Because it is a major problem facing not just Salford, but the country. Who'd like to kick off on that? Martin?
Yeah. I think Josie's point about an ageing population and the pressure that is actually putting on primary care is a vital one that has to be addressed through appropriate public policy instruments and provision.
Can local authorities do anything about that? John?
Well, they can, but their powers are limited, unfortunately, by the way that the law stands at the moment in terms of when we put things out for tender, how far is it appropriate to put a certain level of wages to be paid as part of the tender, and there are fairly strict legal guidelines about what we can and can't do.
Part of the problem that we've got is there's many people out there looking after their parents who are getting old, daughters looking after the mums, sons looking after the mums, who are not well paid. They may get £60 a week. It doesn't even cover the expenses, and they need respite care themselves to take time out.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there because there's a lady here whose arm's going to fall off in a minute.
All three parties are threatening to cut the public services. We're told it every single day. And when you cut the public services, it's the people who have less money, who are perhaps unemployed because of what's happened with the banks and so on, who will suffer the most. We shouldn't cut public services. We should keep those going because that actually creates wealth. If people are still in jobs, they create wealth.
Is it an unreasonable burden on the taxpayer to continue to support smaller, financially unviable schools?
But you're right, they say they've still got the same overheads, no matter how many children are there.
I think we have a problem with the way we've designed schools so that they're not able to meet fluctuations in pupil numbers very easily.
There is no choice for them. That local school is the only school they actually have. So I think we need to start investing within them schools because people don't have that choice to move around, whereas other people do have that issue of getting transport or whatever else.
Do the panel think it's time to shorten the 6-week holiday period?
Yeah, many parents who've got school children do find it very difficult to go away, don't they, during the holidays?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think school holidays are way too long. I was bored rigid after about 2 weeks.
About the holiday companies and the terrible thing that they do to parents. I think this is germane to it, and perhaps we could add that in.
You go away the week before for like £250. A week later, it's nearly £800. You're just being ripped off because you're a parent, you've got young people because it's school holidays.
John, you're not being fun because you're just agreeing with everybody. Do you know what I mean? Tell us how you're going to fix it.
Right.
Is because companies like First Choice are actually struggling to make money.
Well, my question is, following last year's expenses scandal, how can we guard against future corruption in politics and ensure that our representatives are in politics for the right reasons?
I think that people tend to be in politics a lot of the time for what they can get out of it.
Hazel's been controversial with her expenses, but she's apologised to people in Salford, but that isn't good enough. We'd like, greater accountability.
Right, well, the first thing that I would say is that I absolutely understood last year, and I understand today, how angry people were when the revelations were made.
Why did you do it then?
I will answer this question fully, directly, honestly and straightforwardly, because that's the kind of politician I've been for the last 25 years in this city. So just hang on. All right? Right. I understood entirely how angry people were. There's an awful lot been reported which is simply not true. But I do understand how angry people were. The system has changed, and that is absolutely as it should be.
That's not why the question was answered. To dig at each other. Where it was asked.
No, I understand.
It was asked because it is a general question that's been asked all over the country now.
But it seems as though we're not allowed to write about Peel Holdings. We're not allowed to criticise the council because they have big plastic water bottles in their offices and they pay hundreds of thousands of pounds for biscuits and all of that kind of stuff. We're not allowed to criticise the council. They've stopped us basically from printing the newspaper or the magazine. And I know that's happened nationally to quite a few truly independent newspapers. And I feel really upset about that when we do try and actively get involved, you know, we're gagged.
Sick of being stereotyped by the people. Just because we're young, they don't treat us equal. They've chose the right path though. I won't music. You all have a brain, make sure that you use it. And know that the police are always accusing of doing bad things and drug abusing. Nothing to do in this town at all. And they wonder why kids resort to alcohol.
From pillar to post, knowledge is what I'm using. So much grief, right road to be choosing. Weight on my shoulder every day, so I'm fuming. Guys coming and going all the time, I'm like cruising. Overcoming obstacles, got to keep moving. I'm strong-minded while the fiends keep tooting. Watch out for sexy Ida, she'll seduce him. Guess the war is over, now that the truth's win. I need to eat, I'm starving and the crew's fin. Back to attack and the bass keeps booming.
Well, my comment would be over this evening that it's been very well organised, but there is one negative for me. I don't think there was enough audience participation.
I think the meetings are excellent, but I do want them to be with a little bit more body to them.
Hi, I'm Albert Spivey. I have an opinion about everything, and it was good to be able to express it in front of those who perhaps might be making decisions about me. So I really enjoyed the night, and I will be coming to the next ones.
One of my questions was asked and it wasn't answered as fully as I'd like it to be, but maybe if we have more of these question times, it'd be fantastic.
But I do feel that it was very, very well run. The questions were very pertinent, and it's just a shame that it was getting towards the end when everybody wants to come in and interject, and that is really quite a great shame. It needs to go on for another half hour, I think.
I've really enjoyed coming along to this tonight. I think I'd commend the people who've organised it for putting something like this on. It's a good opportunity to actually listen to what the people from different political parties, but also involved in community groups as well, think about the big issues that affect the area.
Also disappointed that my question wasn't dealt with, the question I supplied at the beginning. Other than that, I thought it was really good and well chaired.
I thought the meeting was very good, and I think there should be more of them, but what we did feel, my friend and I, that it was a bit unbalanced, and that the whole of the first half was taken up with housing and there was not enough about the environment.
And hopefully that this will go on to more, bigger and better.
These have been extremely successful question time events. There's been no unpleasantness. I'm very impressed with the way the event has been managed from beginning to end.
My mother said it's hard in life. The decision's yours to decide. Do you feel like we should change our ways? Or are things gonna stay the same? Things will always be the same. And it's only you who can make a change.
Make something from nothing if you put in the work in. Keep your mind focused, keep determined. Stay so strong, stick with a dream that you're chasing. Life is precious, yeah, it's not worth wasting. No matter the goal you want to achieve, your brain is the only thing you will need. And I'm still keen and feeling mean in this scene. I'm speaking these words for the whole of my team.
Hard in life, yeah. Listen. And if you want, you can rock to this. And if you want, you can pop to this. You can do blues or hip hop to this. And all I want you to do is drop the disc. You can pop to this.